Liftoff and the clock has started.
This is Timeless Spirituality. Enjoy each and every time.
Well, hello there, everyone. I am Daniel, the Past Life Regressionist, and this is Timeless Spirituality, episode number 1, The Mirror of Time. You know, for me, it's really funny to be saying episode number 1 right now because as I'm recording this on Friday, November 26th, 2021, I've already recorded approximately 30 episodes. So, I don't know, it feels weird for me to say episode 1 because I feel like I've been at this for a while now. And I think what's even more paradoxical about episode number 1 is ultimately it's going to serve as a reflection of everything that has come before it so far. So I think that that's really cool. Before we dive into what this show is going to be all about, I just want to talk a little bit about me. So I am Daniel, the Past Life Regressionist. And I have been certified as a past life regressionist since 2016. I was first certified in a method known as quantum healing hypnosis technique, otherwise known as QHHT. And then in 2020, I was certified as a level 2 QHHT practitioner. And I also became a certified beyond quantum healing practitioner, known as BQH. So those are the technical specs of my credentials. So, I have to say right off the bat that I'm a firm believer of science. Always have been, and I always will be. When I was younger, science was everything. If science couldn't explain it, then it wasn't real to me. Which was stupid in hindsight that I had that stubborn mentality, but that's the way that I saw the world. I saw it very black and white in that respect. So I think the concept of reincarnation at the time was something that I found interesting, but I never really indulged in it as something that had any credibility to it. It was just a thought. But of course, that all changed because I'm sitting here with you right now talking about past lives, coming from a place of a strong belief. And I want to differentiate something that's very key that I think the world really needs more of right now, which is acknowledging the difference between believing and knowing. And that's a lesson that was taught to me by my astrology teacher, Jim Scher. The world looks at beliefs as facts. Okay, well, that was too much of an overgeneralization statement there. Not everyone looks at it that way, but I believe the overwhelming majority of the population looks at their beliefs as facts. And they treat them as facts. But they're not facts. So for myself, I believe in past lives. I don't know that they're real, but I believe they are. I truly believe that they are real. So right off the bat, let's get that one out of the way. To me, it's a belief and not a fact. Although, I mean, come on. From what I've seen, it feels like it's there, but I'm still not at a place where I can treat it as a fact. How did I end up having that transformation? Going from this rigid belief system of only looking at what had merit and credibility to it and treating that as everything, to being in this place where I'm dedicating my life to a belief. 13 years ago, I came down with an autoimmune disorder. And it floored me. And of course, my belief in Western medicine was what really took center stage. So for the next couple of years, I'd go to doctors. And they'd all say to me, "We're going to fix you." I think we know how that story went. Lo and behold, I was pretty defeated. And at that 6-year mark, I had to allow myself to open myself up to the possibility of exploring alternative treatments and alternative methods because what was tried and true for me just wasn't cutting it. And when I set that intention for myself or allowed myself to indulge in even the possibility of exploring those avenues, past life regression ended up falling into my lap. And I'll say this of my first experience with it, my first bona fide experience in a one-on-one setting. I was so moved by the experience that my belief system just shifted that day. I walked out of that session a firm believer in past lives. Now, there's that word, belief. I couldn't prove it to you, but I was so moved by the experience that I firmly believed in past lives. So with regards to my autoimmune issues, admittedly, I was not cured. Past life regression did not cure me. But what it did for me was it just made me look at the world through a different lens. So now that I have this belief in past lives, by default, I believed in future lives. So I said to myself, it could be better or it could be worse next time. These are the cards that I've been dealt. How am I going to play them? How am I going to make the most out of my hand? And that's what really changed things for me, because my autoimmune issues were no longer my identity. They were just this thing that I had to deal with. That was it. I mean, yeah, they were a pain, but they weren't me. So that's how I found past life regression. And then a year later, I got certified. And I've been doing it ever since. And I absolutely love it. Well, why do you love it, Daniel? Well, I'm going to tell you why I love it, Daniel. And for all those of you listening, now you get to see the absurdity that is me. This is a conversation I'm having with myself. Why do I love it? Well, because no two sessions are ever the same. Never. I never know what is going to happen in a session before that session starts, which just keeps it fresh. Keeps me on my toes, which is amazing, and I absolutely love that. Another thing I love about it is I get to tell people I'm a past life regressionist. So, Daniel, why do you enjoy telling people that you're a past life regressionist? Well, Daniel, I'll tell you why. It's because most people haven't heard of past life regression. So when they ask you what you do, and you say that you're a past life regressionist, you get one of these crazy head takes. You know, the kind where they're going left, right, up, down, right, left, down, up, right, left, 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 right. Yeah, one of those. I love that. I love being able to introduce the concept to people who have never heard about it before. It's cool. I love it. I mean, I get to time travel for work. How cool is that? I mean, come on. It is so cool. And naturally, I'm going to think of other reasons after this recording is done as to why I love it, but we'll just stick with those for now. But it is super cool. So the Mirror of Time. Why did I decide to title episode number 1, The Mirror of Time? Well, Daniel, I'm going to tell you. I decided to title it The Mirror of Time because I believe that everything can act as a reflection if we allow it to. And I had a past life experience a little over a month ago where I saw a life of mine that was probably the most difficult that I've seen to date. But with that, I have to say, I believe the only reason I saw it was because I was ready to see it. I've been exploring my past lives now for almost 7 years, and I've never had anything come close to it. But even with what I saw, I was fine after the fact. I went back to my normal day. Like, it just did not faze me the way it may have had I seen that a few years ago. So I bring this up because I don't want anyone to be scared away by the thought of being overwhelmed with what you will see. Because I've had many people say beforehand that they were worried that they wouldn't be able to shake the images that they saw, that they would see themselves doing something so horrific that it would just stick with them. And I always say to them, I truly believe that your higher self will never show you what you can't handle. And I've never had someone say to me after the fact, that was too much for me to handle. So when this came up, I said to myself, oh, there's still more there. There's still a lot more there. So yeah, I mean, things are still coming up for me, even though I've probably had 35 of my own sessions at this point, 30, 35. So the mirror aspect comes in because shortly after that, I took a few moments to just look into my eyes while I was staring into the mirror. And I think it was in that moment when I started to formulate what this show was really going to be about. I believe it's going to be a reflection for me to have a deeper understanding of what I still need to work on for myself. I mean, yes, of course, first and foremost, it's about the people who I'm interviewing. It's about you guys who are listening. It's about bringing out the information that comes through these sessions. But I'm learning something with each and every one of these interactions. So the way that I'm going to be opening some of these episodes, some, but not all, is with a reflection of the way that I conduct myself. Because trust me when I say that in a lot of these interviews, once they're finished, I will say to myself, man, that was stupid. I shouldn't have said X, Y, or Z. So then the reflection comes in. Why did I say X, Y, or Z? So I'm learning through all of these too. That's the gift that I get through this process, is I get to learn more about myself. Because I'm still working on self-expression. I'm still working on vocalizing what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. It takes time. Like it does. It really takes a lot of time. So this show is going to be about self-reflection for me. And I'm really excited for you guys to come on the journey as I learn more about myself and more about the world. So let's take a couple moments to talk about time as it relates and reflects my life. Time has always been an ally of mine, but I didn't always see it that way. When I was younger, there were many avenues where I excelled, but then there were some where I was strongly hampered. Anything having to do with memorization or critical thinking, I did okay with. I did okay with that. But as most of you know, they don't really use critical thinking skills in our educational system anymore. I mean, I'm sure we can all theorize as to why that is. But they want cookie cutters. They want people who will not question and just do as they're told. Yeah, that didn't really work for me. But I really struggled with reading and writing. I mean, really struggled with it for years. I probably couldn't read till I was about 8 or 9. I think the first time I actually was able to decently read was probably when I got to high school. And now the irony with reading and writing is I excel at those. I do. So time is what I needed in order to really fine-tune those skills. But it didn't make it any easier for me in the meantime, as I was far behind all my peers. And it wasn't just that. From what I'm told, I didn't walk till later than other babies. Whatever. I can't remember that, so we're good. I didn't walk in a college graduation ceremony till I was 35. Still younger than a lot of people, but older than most. And now that I'm 35, I feel like this is when I'm really starting to get my life off the ground. So for a while, it was hard watching all of my peers pass me by. Yes, I did have my health issues, so it wasn't like I was a complete loser. Now, I guess I have to reflect on why I use that word complete. But that's something I'll do when I'm not talking. Everything has always just taken me a little bit longer. But it's okay. Things just take me a little bit more time. And that was something that I really started to understand a few years ago. And once I got that down, things became a little bit easier. It was much easier once I wasn't comparing myself to others. Things just take me a little more time. But that's okay. So with regard to this show, yeah, I'm in it for the long haul. I am. And if it takes me a little bit longer just to really make my mark with this show, well, it's a good thing I have practice with things taking a little bit longer, right? But just like with reading and writing, I've got a little perseverance behind me. So we're taking this thing all the way. Doesn't matter how long it takes. What I ultimately hope to truly achieve with this podcast is to help people think differently, to help people question everything in a healthy way. I don't want to sit here telling anyone how it is. I just want to present the way that I see things and the way that I experience things and have you come up with your own conclusions. When it comes to astrology, which we will be talking a lot about on this show, and for those of you who are not familiar with astrology, I'm going to be doing some episodes on the basics. I'm going to be having astrologers coming in and teaching about the planets, about the signs, about the house system, about the aspects, about the way these planets interact with each other. So just give it a little bit of time and you'll have an understanding of it. But from what I've been told with my chart, I was supposed to be a teacher. At this point, I don't see myself standing in front of a classroom, but maybe there's a different way for me to be a teacher. Maybe it's like this. Maybe it's just with me presenting. Now, as I'm saying it, that just sounds absolutely ridiculous. But now I'm thinking about my best teachers. And I believe that they're the ones who didn't tell. They showed. Just like that primary rule of writing. Show me, don't tell me. Okay, so that's what I intend to do. I intend to show you and not tell you. So here's what I ask you. If you ever hearing me tell you, let me know. Hold me accountable. If you ever hear me treating beliefs as facts, let me know. Hold me accountable. Here's the thing. I'm probably going to slip because I'm sure that there are things that I say and I present them as facts that I'm not aware of it. I have my blind spots. I keep an eye on it, but I have my blind spots. So that's what I ask you. Let me know. Hold me accountable. And if I say something stupid, just know that I'm most likely fully well aware of it. And probably bashing my head against the wall, metaphorically speaking, because it's just not smart to bash your head against the wall because the wall is always going to win. So, yeah. With that said, I'm going to say stupid things. And I hope that in time, those stupid things will be few and far in between as I continue to learn how to communicate and express. Because with those stupid things that I told you guys about earlier that I've said, look, I'm going to pinpoint an episode I recorded a few days ago. When that episode was done, I was just like, damn, I tried way too hard. I tried way too hard. And that's what I'm really starting to understand also about myself. Is when I try too hard to be anything other than myself, I fall flat on my face. I tried way too hard in that episode. I came across like an idiot. But that's okay, because I'm learning along the way. And I have to really ask myself, when am I going to finally get it? When am I going to get that I just need to be myself, that I don't need to try too hard? When am I going to get it? Just because I'm aware of it doesn't mean that it's going to change overnight. I'm working on it, though. I'm working on it. So, yeah, I'm learning every step along the way, too. And, look, I'm sure that there's so much more that I'm going to think of after this recording is done. I'm like, why didn't I say that? Why didn't I say that? Why didn't I say that? But I need to do something different right now and hold my feet to the fire and just put this recording out there as is. It's not going to be perfect, but I just need to put it out there because this is a learning experience. I'm going to get better in time. It may take me a little bit longer, but it's okay. I'll get there. Slow and steady wins the race. Now, I hope that doesn't sound like I'm preaching to you, because what I'm really doing is talking to myself there. So with that said, thank you for being here for episode number 1, The Mirror of Time. And I hope that you guys stick around for episode number 2, which is titled Past Life Regression and Karma 101. I think it's an informative, cool episode. There's some self-reflection in there. Yeah, so stick around for it because it's out now. So yeah, thank you guys so much for coming by and being on this journey with me. And in closing, I just have to say, look out, world. Here I come. Fellow time travelers, your journey through time awaits you. Just want to thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. And if you're interested in discovering who, when, and where you have been throughout time, and you'd like to book a session with me, just go ahead and send me a message on Instagram at The Past Life Regressionist, or you can reach me through my website, yourpastliferegressionist.com.